Today in the show, we're going to be talking about the New 52 origins of poison ivy. So our story starts off with this farmer, and this farmer's complaining about this competitive company, and this is a very large company she's having to compete against because she's an independent farmer. Basically, she's saying this corporation's farmer is using these genetically engineered plants that are immune to herbicide, and that's damaging her plants. So it's really hurting her, and it's really unhealthy competition between the two of them. So this female farmer calls in Dr. Pamela Isley to help dispute this whole situation. Pamela goes across to the competition farm and she sees them spraying herbicide on poison ivy. And Pamela's just like, okay, you guys need to stop. And she makes the poison ivy attack this man that's using the herbicide. And then she begins speaking to the crops, telling them to tell her their story. She goes to the Descanto offices, now these are the people that actually own the bad farm, and she actually gets to speak to the CEO, and apparently he's going to hire her for something. Pamela talks about how she used to do pheromone research for Wayne Industries, and eventually she came up with a concoction that would be able to control the minds of others. And then she reveals that she has it fully integrated into her body. And she tells the CEO that he's going to give her exactly what she wants, and he agrees to this because he's got no choice. He's under Poison Ivy's mind control. First off, she tells the man to drop the lawsuit against this woman's farm. Then she tells him to pay this woman $5 million, and then she begins to explain who the hell she really is. So Pamela grew up as quite a sickly child. She could never really leave her house. And she was very close to her mother, but her mother was physically abused by her father. And the two of them's only escape was their back garden. That was the only time the two of them could really bond and get close to each other. And eventually, her father killed her mother and buried her body in the back garden. Pamela spent years figuring out how the hell she could get revenge. It didn't matter when, it didn't matter where. She just knew that she was going to get revenge. And eventually, she was able to create a poison using only plants that she could apply to her lips that she would be immune to, but it would work on everyone else. And she kissed her father, and this would kill him while he was in prison. Just a few hours later, he died, and Pamela sent roses to his funeral, the same flowers that her mother was buried under. In college, she'd continue to perfect her pheromone research and even test it on students by giving other students pills, and she'd eventually get caught and almost get sent to jail, but obviously by this point she had the dean under mind control, so the dean was able to get her out of that whole situation and make sure she passed college with honors. He even set up an interview at Wayne Industries for her, but then when Bruce Wayne found out about Pamela's research into mind control, he was just kind of like, this is fucked up and so are you. You're fired. Pamela obviously wanted to take her research with her, but they wouldn't let her, so she grabbed her case and this spilled all of her serum down her, giving her a connection to the green, the life energy of the earth. She developed immunity to diseases and viruses, could talk to plants and could control them. She was Mother Earth herself. So when we cut back to modern time, she's still talking to the CEO. She says how his crops are distorted and unnatural and an insult to nature itself. So she pours some seeds down his throat, and from him, a plant begins to sprout. Pamela feels no remorse about killing this man because she is the guardian of the earth. She is Poison Ivy. I love this origin for Poison Ivy more than I love the post-crisis one, and I did like the post-crisis one, don't get me wrong, but my issue with it has always been how she was a woman scorned and nothing more than that, whereas in this one, she is kind of a woman scorned, but she still carries on to do her own thing because she probably would have ended up in this position anyway. Like, I feel like had her father just not even been there, she would have still become Poison Ivy with this origin. She just wouldn't have gotten revenge using her research. She would have just skipped straight to using her pills on other college students and then mind controlling the Dean and so on and so forth. Her pre-New 52 origin was still good. It was written by Neil Gaiman. Like I said, it's still very, very good, but I don't feel like it holds up anymore in comparison to this one. I feel like this one's a bit more superior and a bit more relevant to our world as it is at the moment. With this type of origin, I do believe that if written right, Poison Ivy will be able to transcend being a part of the Bat family and the Batman mythos and become her own icon and a true representation of females in comics. It's super effective! Okay guys, that is it for today. So what do you think of Poison Ivy? Please let me know in the comments down below. And also don't forget to thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more history videos. And also don't forget to like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, support the show by checking my Patreon if you want to see bigger and better and more history videos. And also don't forget to subscribe to my gaming channel if you want to play games with me. My name is Faust, this has been Exploring Comics, and it is super effective.